This is Brian, Atlanta Hot Tub Center and Tub Talk 101, and today we're going to answer a question we get a ton of. Can any hot tub have a salt system? Guys, short answer, yes. So that's going to be the title of this video. Can any hot tub have a salt system? However, I think it's important that we understand salt in hot water conditions, what it's going to do, how it's going to react, and whether or not it's for you. So here we go. All right, first things first, guys, salt is not salt that goes into a pool or salt that goes into a hot tub, okay? It's not the same salt that you get from the ocean, okay? I want to clear that up because you get a lot of people coming in here saying, hey, I want the benefits of ocean salt in my hot tub. You can't have it because ocean salt comes from cracks in the ocean floor, okay? And it contains a lot of magnesium and other minerals that are very good for your skin and body. The salt going into a pool or hot tub is sodium chloride. Okay, I say it again, sodium chloride. It's really no different than table salt, except it has a few more impurities. And when you put it into a hot tub, guys, or you put it into a pool, there's a salt cell, and the cell is basically a metal honeycomb that has a slight charge to it, low voltage. And as that salt water passes through it, it splits apart the molecules in the salt and creates what? Creates chlorine. So to me, a salt system is really an automatic chlorinator. Doesn't make it bad or good or indifferent. It just is what it is, and you have to make a decision whether or not that's what you want in your hot tub. And you can put a salt system in any hot tub. There's tons of aftermarket salt systems. There's also manufacturers that make proprietary salt systems, okay? Now I want to touch on this. Proprietary salt systems are basically manufactured to work specifically with your hot tub's electronics, your circuit board and your top side, right? It allows you to do some light testing on the salt through your actual display, okay? Nothing wrong with that. However, the parts are very, very expensive on a salt system. And if they're proprietary, they're even more expensive. Most people spend about $1,000 a year in the hot tub industry if they have a salt system, either repairing it or buying the cells to create the chlorine. So it does come with an expense. Again, pros and cons. The pro is that, quite frankly, that it automatically chlorinates your hot tub, so you don't have to go out there every single week and add chlorine to the hot tub. Now let's address a chemist, right? There's no special symbol on the graph from chlorine that comes from salt, right? Chlorine's chlorine. That's what a chemist is going to say. All right, guys, so I don't see a big benefit of, the salt. There are systems in today's market. We sell Sundance. There's numerous other great manufacturers that have come up with alternative ways to sanitize the water without having to use salt. And the reason they're doing that and the reason they're going to that is because salt in hot water is highly corrosive, right? That is a scientific fact, by the way, folks. That is a fact. Salt in hot water is highly corrosive, okay? So with that being said, guys, they have systems like the at-ease system for Sundance where you're only maintaining it 1 part per million of chlorine. It's a drip system. It's in line with the system. Of course, I'm talking Sundance because why? Because I'm a Sundance dealer. But again, there's lots of manufacturers that have tried to perfect or find ways to really keep the chlorine levels very, very low to where it's almost non-existent, but just enough to maintain your hot tub so you're not getting the dry skin, you're not getting that big smell of chlorine, and so forth. And these systems these systems do drip out and automatically, because they're in line with your circulation line, they do automatically drip out your chlorine and such to maintain the hot tub. With a salt system, guys, you still have to maintain it 3 to 5 parts per million of chlorine. So with some of these newer systems that we're maintaining at 1 part per million of chlorine opposed to 3 to 5 parts per million of chlorine with a salt system, I don't know which one's better. That's up to you. Some people say, well, salt's a little softer on your skin. Okay, but is it if I have a system or if another manufacturer has a system that's maintaining it 1 part per million opposed to the salt maintaining it 3 to 5 parts per million? What are we talking about here? Is this a marketing gimmick? What is it? I don't think it's a marketing gimmick, okay? I do think that it is a way to sanitize a hot tub. However, I do think that a customer should know the pros and cons before they purchase a salt system on their hot tub. Again, guys, if you want a salt system here at Atlanta Hot Tub Center, we'll give you one. We'll happily give you one with your hot tub, but we're going to tell you, we're going to say, listen, salt and hot water is corrosive. Talk to a scientist. A scientist is going to say, you know, a pool is cold water. It's not as corrosive, but with hot water, it's extremely corrosive, right? And so what we have found, right, we refurbish a lot of hot tubs here. We have a lot of customers with salt systems, right? And what we have found is it basically divides the components in half. So a motor where you were supposed to get 12, 13 years out of, right? You end up really getting more like 6 or 7 years out of, right? Because again, that salt's corrosive, it's corroding out the shaft seal on the motor starts to leak or starts to make a loud noise, and so that's what we're experiencing, right? Now, again, I'm not saying a salt system is a bad thing in a hot tub, but I do think it's important that you make an educated decision on what's best for you and your family. Remember, salt systems came over to the United States in the early 90s from Europe, right? And when we first adapted salt and we put them into hot tubs, our shells, right? The shell of the hot tub could not withstand the corrosiveness of the salt. So the shells were cracking, breaking, bubbling, delaminating. They were falling apart. Then we came up with hand-rolled fiberglass self-supporting shell, right? As the hot tub industry has evolved, we've come up with better ways to manufacture these shells to make them very, very strong. Now the shells can really handle the corrosiveness of the salt, but you still have all the plumbing, right? You still have all the components, right? You still have all the motors and circulation pump and heater and all these other things, right? And again, it is still, still corrosive to those components, right? So you just have to say, hey, is salt the right decision for me? This is Brian, Atlanta Hot Tub Center, and can any hot tub have a salt system? Thank you.